Welcome back. Buy now, pay later company Affirm reporting a double beat to start its fiscal year. Revenue up 34% to $933 million. Earnings per share also up. Gross merchandise volume jumping 42%, driven by soaring adoption of the Affirm card. With 24 million active customers now. The fintech also raising its full year outlook, extending its Amazon partnership through 2031, while adding new deals with Shopify and Apple. The stock doing well. It's jumping nearly 30% just in the last 6 months. Take a look at that chart. Joining me now in this Fox Business exclusive is the founder and CEO of Affirm, Max Levchin, back with me. Max, great to see you.
Good to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. Tell us about the quarter and what drives growth in the coming 6 months.
We're doing great. I mean, you just rattled off the numbers, and there's absolutely nothing to complain about. 40+% year-over-year growth for a company that did $37.5 billion of volume last fiscal year is not too shabby. And for a long time, there were a lot of doubters, and it's profitable. It's $81 million in a quarter net profitability. GAAP, no excuses. It's great to, 15 years in, we're proven that we're doing well and can do well.
That is awesome. Congratulations. I mean, this whole idea of buy now, pay later, I don't understand. I never understood how it works. Walk us through how you monetize this and the strategy for consumers.
Super simple. You find us at checkout from Amazon all the way to a brand that you never heard of. It's available on 420,000 merchants just last quarter. And you will see our logo. You click on that. Instead of pulling out your credit card, we will give you typically 3 choices. Pay over 6 weeks, 6 months, 12 months. It's all disclosed up front. A huge percentage of our loans cost nothing to consumers. They're true 0%. There are no gotchas, no asterisks. It's just what you see is what you get. And you select one. We tell you within a couple of seconds, okay, here you go. You click go and you pay over time. You get your stuff right now, buy now, and pay over time to us.
Now, is there a reason to believe that as the buy now, pay later strategy gets more used and in focus, that indicates a population that is weakening, that is not strong enough to pay now?
It's actually, I think, the exact opposite. Americans have paid billions and billions of dollars to credit cards in interest charges, and more importantly, $15 billion in late fees that they certainly did not expect. Typical indebtedness to credit card in America, average balance is something like $10,000. Typical debt to Affirm, if you're using us, is $800. So we're actually helping you stay in control of your finances. We're giving you loans with super transparent terms. We don't charge late fees. We don't compound interest. It's just a better product and cheaper. So a movement from credit cards to Affirm and overall buy now, pay later is a very healthy thing for America.
So you are going right at credit cards, Max. I mean, Affirm shifting its focus to card payments. Tell me about this. Your debit card now driving a bigger share of direct-to-consumer business, and you're positioning the company as an alternative to traditional credit cards, which are offering interest pay over time with no late fees. Tell us more.
That's exactly right. And so our debit card really answers the question of where else can you use this thing? And the answer is everywhere. So we partnered with Visa. The card works anywhere Visa is accepted offline. If you look at our growth, majority of it came online for years and years. And at some point, we started getting asked by our consumers, hey, where else can I use this thing? Why can't I just tap it at the corner store? And the answer is you can. And the model that we've built into this debit card, which is truly new, no one's done it before us, is very, very simple. For things that are simple, quick purchases, you should use cash. You should use debit. For things that matter, when it's really important for you to understand precisely what the schedule of borrowing money and when it ends is, that's when it matters to use credit. This debit card can switch into a credit mode. You are in control. You go into our app and say, hey, that next transaction, I want to finance this couch. Coffee, I'm just going to pay cash for it. Single card, works every time. It's a great product, and it's taken off like wildfire. It's a 137% year-over-year growth just last quarter, and it's been doubling or better since inception, basically.
Does scale, even more scale for Affirm, come through industry-wide caps on buy now, pay later, penalties? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I think what's happening, not just in credit, not just in lending, but in the US and maybe even in the world, we're going towards business models that demand transparency. I think we're going to a place where there will be upfront pricing and no hidden fees for everything, not just for credit, for hotels, for medical procedures, for everything, because we're getting smarter. Like the age of AI, the very first thing it's going to bring to us is death of late fees, because no chatbot is going to sign up for a thing that says, oh yeah, let me hide some business model for you in the fine print. And so We've never charged late fees. We never will. We have been first in this. But what I've been saying for a while now, I think everybody needs to get with the program. There is not going to be a lot of business models left by screwing your customers. And we've been the forefront of this. I think everybody has to come along.
You're right. I mean, you're putting customers first. I mean, more shoppers choosing 0% pay over time.
Exactly.
Tell me about what you're expecting in the future, near term and long term. I mean, we're heading into the holidays right now, obviously. What are you expecting in terms of using the Affirm card? How are you differentiating going into the busy holiday rush?
So we just did a pretty sizable promotion we called the Big Nothing Days, where we gathered all sorts of offers from our participating merchants, and they funded these loans. So the consumers got the same price whether they pay now or pay over time. So true zero, no interest. And that has been a really strong growth driver for us. We expect more of that. We're getting a lot of requests from merchants to set up more of these deals. American consumer, much as it may be maligned in various news outlets, is doing just fine. They're paying our bills on time. One of the things that we didn't cover, but in our earnings report, we showed another quarter of really solid, very, very strong credit results. People are still paying their bills. They're still shopping, and they're paying us back just fine. And so I expect, I'm going to knock on wood to make sure I don't jinx myself, but the demand has been really strong. I think the online and offline sales are starting early this year. I think consumers are realizing that there's going to be a lot of great deals coming into the holidays, and we're very much looking forward to it.
Oh, that's a completely different story than we're seeing, like the gloom and doom from people talking about layoffs and things are weakening. You don't see a weakening in the macro story.
Not right now. I mean, part of my job is to watch the macro story all day, every day, so
yeah.
I'll be the first to report otherwise. But Affirm consumer is doing really well. They're shopping, they're buying, they're paying their bills.
And you just announced a 5-year extension with the relationship with Amazon. Tell me why Amazon is so important here.
It is the online retailer. They've been a great partner. We're excited to extend the relationship. It's very important for us to serve the biggest and the smallest. Wherever consumer wants to shop, wherever they want to pay for things over time, with total transparency and no late fees, we need to be there. And so we're very engaged with every merchant, the smallest and the largest.
And the buy now, pay later approach is really for everyday purchases as well. I mean, you just said, I like the analogy, coffee versus the couch, but consumers are still feeling high price pressure. They're worried about affordability. This is what President Trump keeps talking about. How are you reading the state of the consumer right now with regard to affordability?
Part of our job is to be there for the consumer when affordability becomes a question. When we saw that huge spike in inflation a couple of years ago, we saw an increase in demand because the consumer basically said, wait a second, I need to pay for things over time. There's not a way to finance this differently. What I want is a product that will not catch me unawares and hit me with compounding interest or late fees. And so we leaned into our consumer back then. We're ready to do it again if necessary. Right now, things are pretty good.
That is terrific. Growth at Affirm, where does that come from in the coming 3 years? Is it acquisitions or all organic?
Never say never, but we found that we typically like what we build internally, so don't have a long shopping list. My job is to help others with their shopping lists, really. But there's still a lot of merchants online and offline where you don't see the Affirm logo, and you should, and we're having great success signing those up. I think we're going to do more for everyday purchases. You nailed it there. I think the debit card is going to just keep growing. And, we're still an upstart. We're tiny relative to the rest of the economy. On one hand, $37.5 billion is a lot to be proud about. On the other hand, it's like less than 1% of total commerce. So it's a footnote. We got a lot of growth to capture.
Amazing. Max, I remember when you first started this company, you've had the vision and you're growing this. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great to see you. Max Levchin here, Affirm CEO. Stay with us. We'll be right back.